Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jevin Cheney, and today I have something super exciting to show you. Today I'm going to be working with the WeCreate Vision 40 watt, and you will not believe just how easy it is to use this machine. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, this machine and its software couldn't be simpler. The folks over at WeCreate asked me to make something super special for everybody, so I'm actually going to be diving into Cuttle.xyz and run you through everything that site offers. And of course, I'll be sharing my process along the way so you can do it also. Let's get crafting. So before we get into the project, I actually want to show you some of the features on this laser that make it so user-friendly. After you unbox your laser, this is almost all the parts that you're going to have to actually put together. So after you unbox, this is basically what you see. You have the machine, you have your air assist, air hose, power cord, and the Wi-Fi antenna. It also comes with, where's it at? There it is. The air extraction. So you're going to have to put the 4 bolts in there to mount it, and then the hose will go there, and then you can pump it out wherever you need to. And let's look inside. So here you have a nice tinted top so you can actually look in it and it's not going to burn your retinas. So on the inside, obviously here we have the laser head itself. Another super nice feature, especially for beginners, is the camera that is in here, and it works very, very well. You also have 2 removable metal slats here. So for cutting, it just falls through. And then on the bottom, you can have a pull-out tray. So after little pieces get cut, if you don't want to take those metal pieces out there, you can pull the tray out and dump it that way. And so here's what it looks like on the back side. You have your Wi-Fi antenna adapter. So all you got to do, plug it in or push it in, give it a nice little twist. I like to pop that up. I think it looks cooler. Here's your air assist. So you have your connector right here and plug it in. Give it a nice twist, it'll lock in place. And then here is your air assist hose. So all you have to do is push it in and it will lock. And if you ever need to take it out, pull the blue part back and it pops out. So we're gonna do that and then connect it to the machine, which same thing. It's got the same kind of connector. Plug it in and you're good to go. And then last, obviously we need a little bit of power. So here is our power cord that will then attach here and get plugged in. And the last part here is your USB connection. It comes with one that looks like this. I don't remember what it's called. And then it goes to USB-A. So you would just plug that in and connect it to your computer. I'm actually going to be running everything on Wi-Fi. For this project, I'm going to be using a product called TrueFlat, and I get all of mine from Makerflo. And if you haven't heard of Makerflo, I'll put a link down below. It's an amazing company. They sell a ton of blanks, a lot of things that can go in this machine that you can engrave, all that good stuff. But the reason that I want to use TrueFlat is not only it has a great different selection, you've got white oak, black, maple, satin, walnut, and white. And the reason a beginner should be using TrueFlat, in my opinion, is it has an MDF core. So if you're doing a lot of cutting, MDF is going to cut way better than plywood. Oh, and I really don't like painting or staining or doing all that stuff. And with the different variations, I don't have to. Here is Cuttle.xyz, and you can choose from a lot of different things. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff on here. But for the sake of this, we're going to do this car visor magnet photo frame. And when you come in here, you'll see a finished item, just to kind of see what it's going to look like when it's done, to give you some inspiration. They do a great job at explaining things, but the real reason I love to use this is right here. All of this is going to do my editing for me in real time. So each line you can customize. I could type in here whatever I want to, and for the sake of this video, I'm actually going to pretend that this is from my kids to me, so I can make it say whatever I want to. I'm going to say my daddy's, since my kids are still young, we'll use daddy. The best! Exclamation. And I don't know who Anya is. I don't have a kid named Anya, so we're going to do just the kid's initials. There we go. Now, I do recommend keeping the date on anything that's a gift like this. Parents, whoever's receiving it, would love to be able to go back and see, oh, this is from 2025. That's great. Cuttle is only one example of an array of different websites that you can use to design and come up with some awesome projects. So I want to know, what websites do you use? please put them in the comments below so I can check them out. If you're used to using something like Lightburn, it can be very overwhelming, especially for a beginner. So this interface is a lot easier, a lot less daunting to look at. Now, I will say that they have added quite a few features since I've started using it for the last couple months. But a couple things that I want to show you real quick is if you're doing a tumbler, you're going to switch this to cylindrical. There are different options here, which I've not played around with. And then if you have the pass-through option, we can go there. But we're going to keep it laser flat. Now, I do not have mine connected, and you know that because you can't see via the camera. And if I wanted to connect after I get it plugged in, you have two options here built in. You can do through the IP address or Wi-Fi. Or down here, you can connect it with the USB. You can also add whatever else you want to. All right, so now we are ready to load in our material. I'm just gonna throw it in here. And one thing that I like to do just because I'm a little OCD is I will put in some spacers. That way it's a little bit easier, and that way if I ever need to, I can come back in and put it exactly in the same spot. So I'm just gonna reference the top and the side for both of these. And the nice part is everything obviously would be magnetic down here because it's metal. So if I really needed to, I could put magnets on here to prevent it from moving. Once that lid is closed, we now have access to the camera on the computer. And we're back in the software, and this is what it's going to look like after we have turned everything on. And you might be saying, oh no, well, how am I supposed to line anything up? Well, if you push refresh, there you go. So now I threw in a sheet of white oak, and that's just the look that I wanted. So I'm going to highlight everything, and you can move it. Hopefully this shows up on camera pretty well. You can move it to where you need it to be. So if I wanted to maximize this piece of true flat, I could move it all the way up and over here. And there I can see that's going to be really close to the edge. And we're going to see just how accurate the camera is. One thing that you need to do with the WeCreate software and laser is you have to autofocus first. So if I click here, the laser head is actually going to move over where it's getting ready to engrave, and it's going to lower itself. Well, I'll just show you. And there we go, just under 10 minutes. Pop that out. Now we will have to get rid of some of this soot, but I'll show you the secret and why I love this material. The acrylic that I'm going to use is a dual layer from Johnson's Plastics Plus. This is actually a Rowmark product. It's their Laser Max edition. And I really like it for a couple different reasons. One, it engraves and cuts super, super nicely. Two, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of options, not only for sheet goods. And last, you have the option of putting on a 3M adhesion on the back. So after I cut it out, I just peel it off and place it wherever I need to. Now, while that does its thing, I will tell you, if you've never cut acrylic, it smells terrible. So make sure you have good ventilation going. And normally I have it out the window, but for filming reasons, I don't have it connected to anything. I have a fan running and I have a door open, so it's pushing it outside. But just be careful. It does not smell good, I promise you. Now, if you do not want to cut acrylic, you have some other options. Obviously, you can do regular MDF, paint it. I don't like painting, especially with spray paint. So I use Makerflo's white, and I'm going to use one of these special acrylic markers that work super, super well. After it's cut, I use one of these, paint on it, do a few coats depending on what you want it to look like, and it's done. It dries super quick. All I need to do is apply a little bit of CA glue on the back and put it on. All right, now let's clean it. You have a couple different options. These are what I have found to work the best. Honestly, if you've never heard of crocodile cloth, you need to look them up. They are phenomenal for a lot of different things. Again, I'll put a link down below. This is just their original, but they have some for paint. They have some for grilling. I do a lot of barbecue, and I don't know what they put in it, but it is absolutely magic. Option 2 would probably be Dawn's Power Scrub. This stuff works super, super well on a lot of different things. And last, but certainly not least, and obviously I need a new one, this is just your typical magic eraser with a little less magic because I need some new ones. But one of the biggest tips is make sure that you save the negative, and especially for this little stuff, if you put it in there, it just makes cleaning the edges a little bit easier. Especially if you're using this, it won't catch and rip and tear and all that fun stuff. But I'm actually going to use the crocodile cloth, and I'll zoom in and we'll clean this up. So as you can see, it kind of has a lot of soot and burn marks or whatever. It's actually really sticky. So I'll put this in the negative, take my crocodile cloth, and then nice and quickly just go over it. And again, that's why I saved the negative. I've got big paws, so me trying to do this is a little tedious. And as you can see, that looks significantly better. You can also do it to the acrylic. There is one little spot that has some burn marking there, and this you're going to have to kind of be a little bit more aggressive, and that's a little bit better there. And then here we have the actual piece itself. So this doesn't have near as much of the sticky residue. That's more of when you cut. But when you engrave, you're obviously going to get that, and you don't want that on your finished product. So I'm just going to wipe it off. There you go. And then I'll do one more just to be safe. And there you go. That is much, much better. So the brand that I'm using is Yono. You only need one is their slogan. But I get it from Makerflo as well. And it's just like any paint marker, essentially. You're just going to shake it up. I've already used this, but if you hadn't, you would just, well, follow the instructions. So here we're just going to give it a nice quick paint. Get that out of there. Try not to go on too thick, because then you'll kind of see some of the lines and you'll have to go over it again. There we go. We're going to let that sit and dry for 5-10 minutes. I'll actually put it under a fan and we're going to glue it on. So you've got your back piece, your spacer, and then your front. And one thing that you can do after, you could do it now or after everything's done, go back and personalize the back. Maybe if you have a daughter or a son that wants to sign their name, if you know how to do it on the computer, you can vectorize that and then engrave it on the back. That's a huge, huge, huge upsell item that I try to utilize as much as possible. So to do this, I like to use thick CA glue. Brand really doesn't matter. I always want to have a scrap piece of something, typically cardboard, because I have a lot of cardboard nearby, and just lay everything out. And I will do a dry fit first just to make sure that all the cuts are exactly how I needed them to be and everything looks good. So let's do the spacer onto the back first. So let's flip this over, and you do not need a bunch of glue. I'm just going to put a couple dots along all the way around. And to prevent it from sliding, that's what this piece of cardboard is for. So I'm going to press that down on there just real quick, and it kind of gets rid of any of the over pouring that I might have done. And then what we're going to do is like this. I understand that's probably great for the camera, but everything is lined up. With these thinner pieces, just make sure that they are spaced correctly, and that should be good to go. Hold it for 5 to 10 seconds just to be safe, and then I'll do a quick little wiggle test. The last thing you want is when you go to put on your next piece, everything starts moving. That's going to make you want to say a bad word, so don't do that. Next, same kind of thing. We're just going to dot it. This is a huge pro tip. I didn't do that when I first started, and stuff would move all over the place, and it really, really got annoying. So here, see, it's already wanting to stick. We're just going to make sure everything's aligned and apply the pressure. There you go. That is now ready for our painted part, which is now, thank you camera, So I'm gonna end up going with the red that I painted onto the true flat. I really like it. I think it works well. And this is why you do a scoring pass. So instead of needing a template, or which you could, I don't recommend it for something this small, but this is going to give you at least some lines, and I believe they offset these a little bit smaller. So if you are off by just a little bit, and there you have it. All we need to do is put our picture in there. Future me here, I actually read through all of the directions on Cuttle, and instead of it being the true flat for the middle, you're actually supposed to use some chipboard, which is much, much thinner, because paper is very thin, and that's what's going to slide in there. So a quick workaround is I'll just put some double-sided tape on my image, slide it in there, and then press it down. No worries. But overall, I think that is something that you can be proud of. And again, put something on the back. That's another layer that you can add for your sale. So there's proof that you don't have to have very much experience at all, and you can run this machine. This machine will do a lot more than what you think. You can also get a rotary attachment. I typically only have this set up to do tumblers. I have the rotary in there, and it does a vast array of different style tumblers. Big, small, it doesn't matter. And with that camera inside, you're able to see exactly what you're doing. I wish my laser had a camera when I was first starting out. So after using this laser for a few months, my honest review, it's great. It really does a very, very good job. 40 watts is a lot of power for a laser. It cut through that true flat like butter with one pass. If you learned anything in this video, please let me know down below so I can know what to do for next videos. But even more importantly, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I used to be a teacher. I love answering questions. I love troubleshooting. I love figuring things out and watching that light bulb go off for other people.